Welcome to the underground. If you've been led here today, I feel like I have some messages for you. What we're going to do today is pick 7 pieces, 7 of my sculptures that relate to tarot. I have 79 pieces, 78 traditional and 1 extra piece. Then we'll clarify with some tarot cards and pull an oracle card at the end. Okay, ready to go. But before I get started, I like to do a little something special for each sign. Aquarius, you're very creative, also known as the explorers, just like Sag. I'm a Sag. Because you're creative, I figure I could talk about something a little different with you. A lot of times I'll just pull something out of a book and read it, or something I saw, something that happened, some music lyrics. For you today, I'm going to tell you about this cloud formation I saw today, looking out the window. Maybe it'll tie in later with the reading, with the pieces, with the clarifying cards, oracle card. So here's what I saw. In the clouds, it was either a big bird, the same size as an adult human, with a very long, sharp bill pointing right at or sticking a woman who was in front of the bird a little bit. She's kind of looking back. She has long, full hair and curvy in like a classical way. Or the second thing it could be is a man with a sword instead of the bill. I don't think there's a tarot card like this with 2 figures, one with a sword, a man and a woman. But it makes me think of like the lovers, but the masculine has a sword. Let's see what we get. See if there's any synchronicities. Let's roll. First piece, 44. They're going to all be uprights. $13. I don't know what these pieces relate to because the boxes aren't here right in front of me, and they move around. I move them around all the time. 69. I had that yesterday, I think. Don't know why I'd remember that number. 00 and a 6. Another 6. Yeah, somebody had a lot of 6s the other day. 3 more. What can we get for Aquarius? 34. 2 more. So what I'm going to do is bring out the first 3. We'll pick them all now, but I'll get the first 3, put them down. Another 6, 68. And then put the second 3, and then lastly the outcome piece. One more for Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to know? 50. That just flipped over. 50. Okay. So this piece here, that's one of your pieces, Aquarius. It's pretty much traditional, except there's usually only 2 people. Well, 1 child in the boat along with the mother. I put 2 children. It's usually nighttime, right? In the card. And they're swimming away. And the lighthouse, that's a new piece I'm working on. I don't know. I just thought it would look good here with the boat. Lighthouse I think of as the guiding light. Searching for an answer maybe. Finding our way. Protection. Still haven't decided what card I'm going to relate it to. That's supposed to be the light coming out the top. Everybody likes lighthouses, right? Okay, give me a sec. I'll go pick out your pieces. Be right back. Wow, what do we have here? You can use your eyes. You don't need to know what's going on. You could guess. Make your own story. Could have something to do with the question you have. Pause the video for a little bit if you want. Don't forget to come back though. I'll tell you what the pieces are, and then we'll go and start the reading. The left here we have the High Priestess, the Hooded Lady, as you can tell, you can't really see her face, but she's there. She's all about intuition, about mysteries, deeper thoughts. Then we go to the centerpiece. That's a spaceship. The little drones flying around are little shuttles. That's the Nine of Pentacles, Virgo piece, Earth. The third piece to the far right, that's the Eight of Pentacles. So we had the Eight of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. That's another Virgo piece. Little baby napping under a big acorn, or a tiny, tiny baby under a normal acorn. So I got to tell you, I saw all your pieces because I picked them all. They're off on the side here. And there's some heavy stuff going on here. The whole theme of this will be somebody stuck in a very deep rut. The tires are spinning and spinning. Tried sticking cardboard in there. Didn't work. Tried digging a little bit, that didn't work. Tried putting some rocks in there, still spinning. So hopefully we'll get a solution here. The High Priestess is about the intuition being blocked, being stuck. Not being able to connect with it, or not wanting to connect with it. Maybe not even believing in it. And it could also have to do with some type of interference from others that are causing the blockage. Could be maybe listening to other people too much, not listening to ourselves. That's not being in touch with our intuition when we're listening to other people. You know, it could even be other options. That could be people too. And then we go to the Nine of Pentacles. That's about independence. That's why I chose a spaceship here. Like when you have a spaceship, you have everything. So everybody wants to be independent, but it's a 9, it's not a 10, so there is still something missing. It's not perfect. You still want something else. And independence could mean a lot of things. I mean, is it too much independence? Now we got to remember, these three pieces here are the problem part of the reading. Second three are the solution. The last piece is the outcome. So if independence is a problem, what does that mean to you? Well, what if your loved one tells you they want to be independent? Well, that could mean all kinds of things. Could mean they want to leave, right? They want to be single. Independence could mean single. Doesn't mean you have to be married to a person, but it could be. Independence becomes a much different thing in that regard. So what is it? What is the problem here? And again, independence, if you go back to the first piece, the High Priestess, you have to be independent of others to listen to your intuition, to listen to yourself. Self is very important. Third piece, I originally made this piece to be more of the reverse feel to the Eight of Pentacles. It's about, instead of being a master and getting your skills together when it's upright, this is more about being either tired or bored, not putting in the energy. And pentacles are usually about money, coins. Could also be, though, other earthly things like family, health. Kids is a little baby. Maybe you're tired of the schooling, homeschooling, and all that stuff. So you might need a new challenge. You might need some kind of change. When we're stuck like this, we need change. And it's pretty much inevitable things will change, but it could be a long time. And we can also help change on our own. So we'll go to the next three pieces. I guess I'll put them in front of these. So hold on a sec. I have to move things around a bit. Here's the next three pieces. I'll just tell you what they are quick, and then we can continue on. You might be able to guess the first one on the left. That's the Hermit, Major Arcana. It's kind of cool seeing him next to, well, in front of the High Priestess. They're both about using your intuition. going deeper. Next to that in the center is the Page of Swords. More swords. There's a lot of swords here. Yeah. Because the next to that is the Two of Swords. So that's more air. Air is all about the mind, our thoughts. And if we go over them one by one, it's talking more about this energy of being stuck pretty much. And yeah, I'm definitely getting this vibe of it being collective, because now with the Two of Swords and the Hermit, we just had them yesterday. These same pieces keep popping up. And that's no coincidence. I mean, there's 79 pieses, and the dice could come out any number of ways. With the Hermit, I think that's an excellent piece as a solution piece. Yeah, these three are solution pieces. So the Hermit makes sense. It's great. Usually, it means taking the time to think. Usually there's a problem, though, when the Hermit comes along. What do we have to think about? Something's gone wrong here. We don't really see what it is, except the problem could be all in our head. Of course, outside influences could affect what's going on. Probably did at one point. But when they get bigger and bigger, these problems, these thoughts in our head that won't go away, being the Hermit can even go too far. But ultimately, the missing link here is we need to listen to ourselves, listen to our heart over our head, use our intuition. And I know if you've been here before, you're sick of me saying this, but our intuition is like that secret power we have, superpower. It's an extra sense. And because of the way the world's created, the matrix, it's all about work, being busy with all our everyday tasks, that intuition's the last thing we use. We don't cultivate it. We need to practice it to make it better and stronger. And that's what meditation's about. So if we can take a little time to meditate, that would be great. The Hermit would be the perfect meditation piece, right? There's also, he has a lantern there. The lantern's all about finding the light. Light, like the sun, brings illumination, clarity. If we're clear on the problem that we're stuck here with, that might be the one thing that pushes us through to get beyond it. Music. He's playing the guitar. He's also sitting on the earth, getting grounded. He's got a bottle of wine or something there. That's good too, but, we got to be careful with that. Not too much wine. Yeah, music's a big deal. The lyrics to music, just the feeling. Of course, you got to be careful with music. Could also add to this if we choose the wrong tunes, Then we go to the Page of Swords in the middle. I chose Page of Swords, of course, as air again, and it's mixed with earth. All pages are mixed with earth. And I chose a letter with a letter opener because it's all about messages. These messages could be words from another person, could be very sharp. You got to be careful. Air signs, you know all about that. Can be very sharp and blunt. It's good, honest. Honesty's great. Hopefully that's what you get. Maybe that's what you need, in fact. Maybe you need that message. Maybe that would be the solution to this whole thing. Maybe you're stuck because you never got closure. You don't know what's going on, and something that's important. You need that. And then we go to the Two of Swords. I'm going to move it a little. It's a little hard to see, but she has kind of like a mask over her eyes. What's that called when you cover? But basically the idea is it's a seesaw. Which way is it going to go? Whoops, almost dropped it. That'd be terrible. It's going to be head or it's going to be heart. Head or heart. I would tend to pick the heart. Again, the heart to me goes with intuition. And since it feels like the problem here, the whole problem is being stuck in our head. And this is in the solution section. So the solution could be, need to make that choice and make it now. That solution could end this stalemate. Yeah, stalemate. Stalemate, I guess that's about chess, right? I'm not sure, but I watched the series Queen's Gambit. Great series, really well done in every way. I know nothing about chess, and it didn't matter. I still enjoyed the film. Well, I say film because it was shot like a film, but there's a lot to learn in that series. I recommend it, definitely recommend it. So as far as a stalemate goes, some people consider a stalemate a win, but most people don't. A win is a win. That means understanding, and I think of a win as everybody winning. It's not just a one-sided win. It's a win-win. That's my favorite kind of win. Win-win. Okay, let's see. Let's get the last piece, and that'll be the outcome. I'm going to hold it up for you. It's a very strange piece for outcome. Had to get a little more light in here. Pretty scary piece as an outcome piece, right? I mean, on the face of it, you would say, well, guess this stuck energy is going to be here for a little while. This piece, by the way, is the 8 of Swords, more air. That's a lot of air. The last 3 pieces are all air. And the last 3 are about communication, choices, and this is completely about being stuck in our heads. Basically being bound. But we can get away, we can get out of these bindings, these chains, this wire that's wrapped around our head. But we're having trouble, big trouble. As an outcome piece, we have to try to look at the bright side of this. It is an 8, means we're moving towards a solution. Get to 10 is the completion. It's already been a long, hard road. And this whole thing about being stuck in our heads, I mean, it's so easy to just say, why don't I just say to you, just get out of your head? Well, because you can't. Could be a karmic situation, twin flame. There's a lot of things. Could be actual problems that warrant being stuck in our heads, warrant, having this painful feeling. Mourning, could be mourning. Could be a lot of different things that happen in this world that bring us to this place. Certainly not downplaying it, but there are some solutions. In a lot of cases, it's about taking responsibility. Of course, some of the things I mentioned, they're not our responsibility. In those cases, it just takes more time and might need some help. Spiritual help, could be professional help, an analyst or somebody to talk to. Maybe you're lucky enough to have a friend or somebody who you feel good about their guidance. But you look at those 12-step programs, people who are having problems, addictions, other problems, all kind of problems. There's a lot of 12 steps out there, right? They all have one thing in common, and that's identifying the problem, acknowledging it, basically taking responsibility for it, and then apologizing if necessary. In those programs, you can't get to the next step unless you apologize, make good on, make amends, if possible. If the people are still alive, if you can reach them, then you should. And that'll bring closure and healing for you as well. I sound really preachy today, but man, this is some heavy energy going on here. And I do think it's something we've all been through. But some of us, it hits us worse than others. It can happen for young people and older people. Sometimes things hit us, it could be the same thing that happened before, but it hits us different this time for some reason. We don't even understand why. All right, I've talked enough. I think we'll use the Moonology cards today for this, because it could be about any issue. It doesn't seem like I don't even know if there's any cups here. It's like a lot of earth and a lot of air. And the thing is, being grounded, the earth should be able to help. Like the hermit here, he's a great example of what we need to do. sit down somewhere, connect with the earth, nature if possible, maybe get some music going, and be alone for a little bit. But the moon right now, the waxing gibbous moon, and that's Aries. And that's all about being close to our goals, but not quite there yet. We're trying to figure out if it's viable or not, if our goals are viable. And we could be in our heads about that. Makes sense. Maybe that's what I was talking about, just being collective in a way. That's the other thing. We're not alone. Whatever's going on here, you're not alone. A lot of other people are in a similar situation. And we can all get through it. So it might be there's something you wanted. This goes along with the moon. Something that you wanted but didn't come through, or maybe it's not even possible to come through in the way that you wanted originally. But if you could look at it a little differently, look at some of the details, maybe there's a version of it you can have. And it might even be better in the end. Like I said before, sometimes it might not be better for us, but it might be better for the greater good, for everyone involved. Okay, let's get a Moonology card. I'll shuffle on the side a couple times just to warm up the cards. Pick one, try to get a popper, and then we'll read out of the book briefly. Had to turn that heater off. It's pretty loud. I normally pick a couple of tarot cards as clarifying cards, but I don't feel like we need it. It's almost redundant, this reading. There's so much, the message is so clear. So let's see what we get here. What can we get for Aquarius? Who named you Aquarius anyway? It sounds like water. We are in the age of Aquarius, December 21st. Whoop, we got a card already. All right, cool. This is Scorpio. Work through your fears. Work through your fears. I was going to mention fears, but I almost hate to because it's such a hard thing to talk about and identify. Let's see what it says though. This book's great. You get this in here. Can you see that? Yeah. Beautiful, right? This is a little book. This card suggests a rebirth. Think of your situation as the phoenix that's rising from the ashes, as the birth, death, rebirth paradigm. That's what Scorpio energy is all about. Whatever you've been through, there's a new start ahead. It might be a little dark. It almost certainly won't be rainbows and unicorns, but it will be deep and transforming. This card also suggests that if you know you are magical, then this is the time to work your magic. It can also herald the start of a sexier time. If you've been experiencing something of a drought, and emotional intimacy is also on the menu. Scorpio is the sign that likes to go deep into the body, mind, and spirit. So when this card comes up, there's nothing superficial about what's coming your way. That's some, that matches up perfectly what we're talking about here. It's very realistic. Like it says, it might not be all rainbows and unicorns, but it will be deep and transforming. So there's this other couple little sections here. Attuned to the moon. Have some sexy time. Additional meanings for this card. Time to let go of a grudge you're holding. We talked about that. Very important. If you let go of the grudge, that's kind of like forgiving the other person and maybe forgiving yourself. The next point is move on from jealousy. Stop being obsessive We talked about that big time. This whole thing's about being obsessive. Could it be you're being paranoid? Make an investment. Well, making an investment goes along with the piece back there, little acorn, the baby under the acorn, where that's saying there's a lack of investment, a lack of energy. I'll read a little more. This is pretty good. Scorpio is a sign of death and rebirth, magic and shamans. Its energy is a little bit dark, occult, even scary. Not all of us like to face the shadow, but Scorpio demands it. In fact, it's through working through the dark side that you can get to the light. And the new moon in Scorpio and the appearance of this card at any other time suggests you need to do that now. So it's suggesting you work through the shadows, through your dark side, so you can get to the light. Okay, Aquarius, I think that's a good reading. Some good stuff for all of us in there. Thanks for coming. This is a new channel, so I appreciate all the likes, comments, shares, and subscriptions. Come back again. Love you all.